Hello everyone. In this class, we will discuss about the simple and complex tissues. Plant tissues, meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. The permanent tissue can become secondary meristematic tissue also by the process of de-differentiation. During this explanation of periderm, phylum, phylogen and phylloderm, it is useful. The permanent tissue, simple permanent tissue, complex permanent tissue, permanent tissue, simple permanent. Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem, phloem. Okay. Plant organs are made up of different parts of tissues. These tissues perform important functions. They provide the mechanical strength to the plants, conduct water, minerals, and nutrients to the various parts of the plant body, help in metabolism, storage, and secretion of enzymes and hormones, and secondary metabolites. A plant tissue is a group of cells of common origin. These cells may or may not be similar in shape, size, and in function. Based on their development, plant tissues fall into two categories: the meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic and permanent tissue. The formers are immature, undifferentiated tissues, and its cells are capable of division as well as of self-perpetuation. Permanent tissues are derived from the meristematic by gradual differentiation, and they are mature. Their cells do not divide. Permanent tissues fall into two categories: simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. The former type is composed of similar homogeneous cells. The latter type is composed of heterogeneous cells and is made of different types of cell elements. Simple permanent tissues are generally of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Parenchyma. The cells are of different shapes and sizes, but mainly circular and isodiametric. Circular and isodiametric. They may have intercellular spaces or are compactly arranged. Most of the lower plants are formed of parenchymatous cells. Merisstems are also parenchymatous. Epidermis, cortex, pith, mesophyll of leaves, pulp of fleshy fruits, and embryonic tissues are composed of parenchyma cells. These cells have an active protoplast. Parenchyma cells have functions of photosynthesis, storage of food material, secretion, and excretion. They occur as a part of xylem and phloem and connect water and nutrients in solution. In leaves, parenchyma cells have chloroplast in them, hence called chlorenchyma. In aquatic plants. They acquire large air spaces, enable the plants to float in water, hence called parenchyma cells. Collenchyma cells are circular, and isodiametric in cross section. Some of cells may be also polygonal in shape. Polygonal. The cell wall is thick, more so in corner of the cells with or without intercellular spaces between them. Young stems, petioles of leaves and stalk of flowers, ribbed stems and petioles as well as square stems of certain plants have collenchyma cells. Collenchyma is a tissue providing mechanical strength and elasticity to the growing plant organs. And sclerenchyma. These are found in cortex, pericycle, xylem, and phloem. They provide mechanical strength to plants. The size and shape of sclerenchyma cells is variable, and at least two types could be distinguished. Elongated cells called sclerenchyma fibers. Short cells either isodiametric or irregular in shape, with lignified walls called scleroids. Scleroids fibers. Sclerenchyma fibers. They are dead cells with no protoplast in them and highly thick walled. The thickening is due to a substance called lignin. The scleroids are of varied shapes, spherical, oval, or cylindrical. These cells possess lignified secondary cell walls. These are also dead cells with no protoplast in them. Scleroids are found in cortex, phloem, pith, seed cords, and fruit pulp. They provide mechanical strength to plant parts. The cells of complex permanent tissues through of common origin are composed of different types of cell elements. These different cellular elements form an integral part of the structure of plant and carry out a specific function. Among plants, xylem and phloem are examples of complex tissue. These tissues principally perform the function of transport of water and nutrients in plants, hence called vascular tissues. The vascular tissue perform a function like the ones performed by the blood vascular system in animals. Xylem. Xylem is a complex tissue forming a part of vascular system. Its major function is conduction of water and solutes, mainly minerals. It also provides mechanical support to plants. Since it is a complex tissue, it consists of different types of cells and elements. The cell elements that form xylem are tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers, and xylem parenchyma. Tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers, and parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma. A tracheid is an elongated cell. The cells are devoid of any protoplast, hence they are dead cells. The tracheids have a lumen without any contents in them. The walls of tracheids are thicker, secondary lignified. Depending on the type of thickening, tracheidy elements are classified into annular, ring-like thickness, spiral reticulate. The walls present a network-like appearance, scalform, ladder-like, and pitted with holes. Vessels. These are long tube-like bodies which conduct water and solutes. A trachea is a vessel formed from a row of cylindrical cells arranged in longitudinal series. The partition walls between the cells are perforated so that the entire structure is a long continuous vessel. These partitions are called perforation plates. Xylem fibers. These are the dead cells which provide mechanical support to the plant. They are long cells with lignified wall, tapering at both ends. Xylem parenchyma. These are the only living component of the xylem of most plants. Parenchyma is embedded in the secondary xylem of most plants. The cells may be thin-walled or thick-walled. The cells have a storage function. Mostly starch and fatty substances are stored. And now phloem. The phloem is a complex tissue composed of four elements. Sheaf elements, companion, phloem parenchyma, phloem fibers. These are the most important elements of phloem. We will be amazed to know that these cells, through living, are without functional nucleus at maturity. A sheaf element consists of sheaf tubes. Sheaf tubes are cells arranged in a longitudinal series with perforation in the cell wall called sheaf plate. The individual members of a sheaf tube are called sheaf tube member or sheaf tube elements. Therefore, in the sheaf plate cytoplasmic connections are established between neighboring cells. The cytoplasmic connections are formed at the middle laminar region of two adjacent sheaf tube elements. These constitute the sheaf pores. A sheaf plate may consist of one or many sheaf pores. Sheaf tubes have a conducting function. Sheaf elements at maturity are conspicuously devoid of a functional nucleus and organized protoplasm. Companion cells. As their name suggests, the companion cells are closely associated with sheaf tubes, a flowering plant both during development as well as during functioning. They are small elongated cells with dense cytoplasm and prominent nuclei. They occur on the lateral walls of sheaf tubes. Companion cells accompanying a sheaf tube may be a single cell of equal length, or mother cell may be divided transversely, forming a series of companion cells. Sheaf tubes and companion cells originate from the same mother cell. The companion cell function if sheaf tubes are functional. The companion cells are firmly attached to the sheaf tubes. Phloem parenchyma. These living cells are also associated with sheaf elements. They are living cells with protoplast in them. They are concerned with storage of organic food materials. Phloem fibers. These are sclerenchymatous cells. These are dead elongated cells with lignified walls. Having single pits, the fibers are of commercial importance as they are used for the manufacture of ropes and cords. So we discussed parenchyma, parenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem, phloem. These are simple permanent and complex permanent tissues. Thank you everyone. Meet you in the next class.